Hi everyone, it's Rax and welcome to my Season 21 leveling guide. We are going to go through every single step that you need, not only to get from 1 to 70 as fast as you possibly can, but also what should you do once you hit 70. I will mainly be highlighting the Demon Hunter and showing the whole progress there, but of course we'll cover what you should do for every class. Let's get started. The first thing that you need to do is you need to complete the Challenge Rift. Now, the requirements for being able to select the Challenge Rift are you have to have completed the campaign and you have to have completed a Greater Rift on your account. So, if you have a fresh account and you've never played before, you're going to need to at least do the campaign once and do one Greater Rift, any level on anything, in order to unlock Challenge Rifts. When the season starts, after it starts, you will complete the Challenge Rift. I will have a full guide on North America or on Europe for exactly how to do it. They will give you a build, you will not use your own character, and you have to beat a Greater Rift in a certain time. I'll have the guide for you, don't worry. Something that's very, very important is the Challenge Rift is available a few days before the season starts. It is critical that you do not complete the Challenge Rift until after the season starts. If you complete it before, you will not be able to claim the reward on your new seasonal hero, and you will miss out on a ton of materials that you need to do all of the overpowered stuff I'm about to show you. Once you have completed the Challenge Rift, open up a game, and in the bottom left corner or somewhere different on console, you're going to have your Challenge Rift reward. Claim to inventory. Okay, we've got it, and boom, open it up. Now you're going to notice it's got a ton of gold, a ton of crafting materials, a ton of death's breaths, and a ton of bounty materials. This is exactly what we need in order to accomplish a few things. First of all, go to the Blacksmith and level it all the way to 12. Then go over to the Mystic and do the same thing. Level it all the way up. You will definitely have enough materials after you've completed the Challenge Rift to do so. Then we're going to use the rest of the materials to do something amazing. The next thing that we need to do before we do our super secret trick is we need to get Kanai's cube. The first thing we're going to do is go over to our follower and steal their weapon, because for some reason they start with a much better weapon than us. We start with a 3 DPS bow, they have a 7 DPS bow. Give you that. The next thing that you can do, which is optional, is you can set the difficulty to Master. Look in the top right, it's on Master at level 1. And then you can look in Act 2, and you're looking for one of two bounties. The best one is the Zoltun Kulle bounty, which we have, or the Maghda bounty. So we have the Zoltun Kulle bounty, and just go kill him very, very quickly. The reason why you do this is it should level you up all the way to level 3 right away, and it should give you a lot of yellows, which are going to make the next part very easy. So let me demonstrate that. Here we go. Takes a moment, but it can be worth it, especially if you get something decent. And we're just shooting him, shooting him. You don't even have to really run away from the damage. And killing the big stone singers here will actually level you up just by killing him. See, level 2 already. Gonna get this guy down. Obviously, be more careful than I'm being if you're playing on hardcore. Falling rocks. I guess I'll go pick up the health. And this should be quite easy on any difficulty. Excuse me, on any character. But if it's too hard, then just go ahead and lower it to something else. Alright, we're already level 3. Make sure that you don't skip the chest over here. This is why we did it. And look at all that stuff that we have to start. Wow. Incredible. One more thing you can do, either in addition to doing the boss bounty or just on its own in case you're lazy, you can go over to the vendors in town. And actually you can check every act if you want. And check and see if they've got any upgrades for you. Because remember, we got a bunch of gold from the Challenge Rift cache. So these gloves are better, I'll take those. Okay, and that's it. That's all he has. Sometimes they sell yellows, and the yellows are extremely good. Now we're finally ready to go get the cube. You can lower it from Master. That's going to be quite tough to do. So you can lower it to hard or something. And then we're going to go to Act 3, the Ruins of Sescheron, go into that zone, and run all the way to the end. When you get to the end, Kanai's cube will be there for you. Just click on it, and then you'll have it in town sitting for you right here in Act 1 to do the next trick. Let's get into the first trick that we have with all of the Challenge Rift materials. What we are able to do is craft one yellow item and then upgrade that yellow item to its legendary form in the cube. What we are hoping to get is a multiplier for one of our skills that's going to carry us through the entire leveling process. And it just so happens we have just enough materials left over to actually extract and cube that power so we can have it forever while we're leveling up. Every class does something different, so let me Alt-Tab here and show you a different resource, and we're going to go over very quickly every single class on what you should upgrade and what you're looking for. Starting with the Barbarian, we are going to craft and upgrade two-handed mighty weapons. The two that we're looking for are Fury of the Vanished Peak, which is a major multiplier for Seismic Slam, or the Gavel of Judgment, which is a major multiplier for Hammer of the Ancients. The reason why we upgrade two-handed mighty weapons and not one-handers is not only are these multipliers huge and for very good skills, but when we spend our blood shards at Kadala, we can gamble for bracers, which have multipliers for the exact same skills. Bracers of Destruction are for Seismic Slam, and Bracers of the First Men are for Hammer of the Ancients. If you get the multipliers to match up on Barb, you are going to be destroying everything the entire time. Moving on to the Wizard, who does not have the best options here, we will craft and upgrade a one-handed wand. Now there are a million wands, but the one that we're really hoping for is Unstable Scepter, which is a 450% multiplier for Arcane Orb. Wand of Woe isn't bad for the damage on Explosive Blast. And Serpent Sparker isn't that bad for an extra Hydra, but that's what we're looking for. And then what will we gamble our shards on? Well, if you completely whiff on upgrading the one-handed wand and you get something that doesn't help you, you could consider gambling for one-handers and trying to get an Unstable Scepter. That's another option. Otherwise, I would probably just go for a helm and get a Leorc's Crown so you can get extra experience. Not the best start for wizards. And now onto the monk, we are going to craft and upgrade two-handed die bows. We would like Balance, which is a major multiplier for Tempest Rush, or Incense Torch of the Grand Temple, which is a major multiplier for Wave of Light, and the Flow of Eternity isn't bad either for 7-sided strike. And then what are we going to spend our blood shards on? We are going to go for Bracers. Cesar's Memento is a major multiplier for Tempest Rush, especially if you get that with Balance, you're going to be good. And Pinto's Pride goes along with Wave of Light, Incense Torch of the Grand Temple. So we're going to upgrade two-handed die bows and then gamble for Bracers. For the Crusader, once again, we don't have the best odds, but we are going to go with one-handed flails. We are hoping for either Gyre Falcon's Foot, which is going to help us with Blessed Shield, or Johanna's Argument, which is going to increase the attack speed and damage of Blessed Hammers. Now, if you do get the Blessed Hammer one, Johanna's Argument, there's something incredible you can do with gambling. So if we go to level 1 here, if we gamble for Crusader shields, the only shield we can get is the Guard of Johanna, which is another multiplier for Blessed Hammer. And the only bracers you can get are Gabriel's Vam Braces, which again is Blessed Hammer. So if we are lucky enough with the upgrade on the one-handed flail to get Johanna's Argument, you can actually very reasonably get a triple multiplier for Blessed Hammer. It's going to be like good old Diablo 2 days, leveling up as a Hammerton. For the Witch Doctor, we are going to craft and upgrade one-handed ceremonial knives. We are hoping for either the Barber, which is going to increase the damage of our Spirit Barrage, or the Dagger of Darts, which is going to increase the damage of our Poison Darts. Now, if you completely whiff the weapon, you can gamble for one-handed weapons and try to get the Dagger of Darts that way. But if you do get the Barber, then you definitely want to gamble for Mojos, because it's going to give you Gazing Demise, which again is going to help you with Spirit Barrage. And now it's time for the easy mode classes, starting with the Necromancer, who always has a godly start. we are going to upgrade two-handed scythes. Blood Tide Blade is a major multiplier for Death Nova, and is probably the best item you could get in the entire game. Maltorius' Petrified Spike is a major multiplier for Bone Spear. Nair's Black Death, you just take a million poison skills and have a major multiplier for all of them. And Raylina's Shadow Hook just gives you another major multiplier just based on the amount of essence that you have. No matter what, you're going to get a godly weapon and a godly power for the Necromancer. Then, of course, as the Necromancer, gamble for gloves. And these Grasp of Essence are going to give you an incredible damage with Corpse Explosion, especially after they were buffed in Season 21. And then if you do get the gloves, then, of course, go for a Leoric's Crown. And finally, what most people are going to be leveling up as another super easy mode class, the Demon Hunter. So if we go down here to one-handed daggers, there are only two choices. Carlay's Point is going to give you a major multiplier for Impale, and Lord Greenstone's Fan is going to give you a major multiplier for Fan of Knives. Both are amazing. As long as we upgraded one-handed daggers, we're going to get something incredible. And then gambling at level 1, I like to go for the Bracers for the Wraps of Clarity. We can take a Hatred Generator, and then we're going to have massive damage reduction, especially if you're leveling up in Hardcore, and then otherwise go for a Leoric's Crown for extra experience. Let's get into the second tricky thing that we can do with the Challenge Rift cache. We are going to craft a level 70 weapon and try to roll reduced level requirement on it. That way we can use it much earlier than level 70. We can roll up to minus 30 requirements, so we could have a 3000 DPS ready for us at level 70. And I'm going to show you a little trick with Demon Hunters. So for every other class, starting off with, you could go with two-handed axe or two-handed mace and craft them, and you can't craft too many, so you craft them one at a time. And what you're looking for is a CC, a crowd control, on the secondary, meaning a slow, a freeze, a stun, something like that. And then if you can get it as well, it would be ideal if it also has life on hit. The reason why is if you have life on hit on a primary, you cannot roll life after kill as a secondary. It just makes it easier to roll reduced level requirement. So if you're on any class but Demon Hunter, you could roll a two-handed mace here. And this is pretty good. It's got the freeze. It's got a CC on the secondary, the crowd control, the freeze. But it doesn't have life on hit. You could go with this and it would be fine. But you can craft a couple of these. I think you can craft up to about 5. This has a slow and no life on hit. So it's about the same as the first one. Let's try maybe one more time. Life on hit, and it doesn't have the CC, and it does have reduced level requirement, but it's only 9. If you get that, I would throw this into your stash just in case you whiff, and I would just start re-rolling here and praying. Okay? So that's what you would do for every other class other than Demon Hunter. Now, Demon Hunters have an interesting problem. Demon Hunters cannot wear a two-handed axe or a two-handed mace or any of that, so that's out. So then the obvious choice would be, well, just make a bow or a crossbow, right? Well, there's a problem with that. So if I make 5 bows here, by the way, don't do this while you're leveling up. I'm just going to show you, for example. If I made 5 bows here, I have no CC on the secondary, and I have no life on hit, because it's rolling max discipline. Max discipline, no CC, no life on hit. Garbage. No CC, no life on hit. We have a CC, but no life on hit, so we could actually use this bow. But remember, you can't craft very many of these, so I got very lucky to get something I could even try on the 4th bow. And this one also doesn't work. It's the same story for crossbows. If I do the same thing on crossbows, it's going to be the same thing. And you, like I said, I can't stress this enough, you don't have many tries. You got maybe 5 tries to get something that you can try to re-roll. Nope, no CC, no life on hit. No CC, no life on hit. We have a CC with life on hit, so we got super lucky there. We hit the jackpot, boom. Got life on hit, but what we really need is the CC, so this one really wouldn't work. And this one wouldn't work either. So you can be in big trouble unless you get very, very lucky with here. And I don't like to rely on very, very lucky. So instead, we're going to do something crazy. We're going to craft one-handed maces. We can use these, and Impale and Fan of Knives. We're going to get a big multiplier for one or the other. It works both with one-handed maces. So let's see how this goes. Craft 5 of them. This better work out, otherwise no one's going to believe me. We have a CC, and we have no life on hit. Beautiful. We could use this one. We have a CC, and we have life on hit. 2 tries, we got the Holy Grail. Okay? And the third one, this one's terrible. This one is usable. And this one is usable. So 4 out of 5 or 1 out of 5. Let's go with one-handed mace for sure. All right, so here we go. It's the moment of truth. So let me show you the difference between having the CC with the life on hit and not having it, okay? So if you don't have it, you want to re-roll your secondary that isn't the crowd control, all right? If you re-roll the crowd control, here's the reduced level requirement, here's what we want, but there's 10,000 crowd controls here. So we want to keep that. If instead we roll this, we don't have very many choices. Notice how life after each kill is a choice because we don't have life on hit as a primary. If instead, if I close this, we go to the one with life on hit and do the same thing, it takes away the life after each kill, and there's only 3 choices. Super high chance to get a very big reduced level requirement. That way you can use this. So let's just try them both, and again, you don't have a million rerolls here, but try them both and see how good of a reduced level requirement we can get. First, let's start with the one that doesn't have life on hit. We're rerolling the secondary that does not have the CC. Let it rain. So 1 reroll, we got nothing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can re-roll pretty much until you're out of mats. 7. On the 8th try, we got 18, okay? I would say that's a pretty decent result. So now we're able to use this 1,900 DPS weapon at level 52. Not bad. Well, now let's try if we have life on hit. Remember, it took us 8 tries last time. Let's try this time. 17 on the first roll. I mean, come on. I'm so glad that everything went well in this video. Usually you're trying to explain something and then 24 on the third roll, and then it never works. Let's do 8 rolls. 21 again. So how many do we have? 4 more? 2? Yeah, nice try. 24 again. 2 more tries. 1. And 2. Okay. Look how many good rolls we got there. You see the difference? We get reduced level requirement like every single time, whereas here we get it never. It's a huge difference between being able to use a 2,000 DPS weapon at level 43 versus 52. The next thing that I like to do is craft all of the weapons while I'm leveling up to get up to my huge weapon that I'm going to use at level 43. So for demon hunters, for example, you can go to bows this time. Now it's perfectly fine to use bows. And I would just craft 1 of each all the way up to 40. And so we just grab 1 of them and we put them down here like that. And then that way, when you're doing your rifts or your massacre bonuses or your blades or your cursed chest, whatever method you're going to use for leveling, whenever you hit the appropriate level, all you have to do is equip it straight from your inventory. There's no going back to town and looking through your stash or going to the blacksmith and crafting 1,000 times. It's going to save you time. Now let me show you one trick that does not work on console. I apologize. A couple people in console got screwed because they tried this trick last time. This does not work on console, only PC. But you can go here and transmog each of your weapons to anything else. It doesn't matter. Go here, transmog to that. You will have enough gold from the challenge rift cache for sure. So we're just transmogging everything to anything else. You can tell because it has a little purple spiral up here. And the reason why we're doing this is if you transmog something or if you re-roll something, it means that you can't salvage it. So now when we go in there and we pick up a bunch of yellows and blues when we're adventuring, and we go to salvage, it's never going to salvage the weapons that you crafted. It's never going to salvage the level 70 weapon. If you want to be really safe, you can throw it in your stash. But it works on PC only. So I apologize to the console people last time who tried it and lost all your weapons. My bad. Then once you have all of this, you have your cubed item. You've crafted all of your weapons. Make sure that you spend your blood shards. You're going to get blood shards. Remember, it's going to depend what class you are and what you're going to gamble for. But make sure, if at the very least, gamble for helmets to get a Leoric's crown for extra experience. One final trick before we get into the leveling guides. At level 7 for rings and at level 10 for amulets, there is a vendor in every act that ends in defense that will begin to sell jewelry. They will occasionally sell jewelry that adds 2 to 4 extra damage. Those rings and amulets are incredible at low levels, and it can be worth the time for you to go pick them up. And actually, you might be level 7 or 10 already by the time you get to the end of the Ruins of Sescheron and already have Kanai's cube. Now let's go over the various leveling methods. I'm going to show you 4 of them. The first one I'm going to show you is what happens if you whiff everything. Everything went wrong, it's the end of the season already, you're crying. This is the best method if you've got nothing going for you. First thing we're going to do is we're going to set the difficulty all the way to T6. But wait a minute, why are we setting it to the hardest difficulty if we got nothing? Well, because we don't need anything for this method. By the way, this method is not good for hardcore because you will die, so this is only a softcore method. We are going to go to the Halls of Agony level 1, and there are some blades here. We are going to kite the monsters to the blades. They're going to die, and our experience bar is going to skyrocket. If you die along the way, no problem. Just keep on a-truckin'. Actually, it's kind of nice when you die because it's a nice time to, grab a snack or have a drink. Can I get through here? Oh, man, yes. You see that? Easy. So we're just looking for the blades. Hello, blades, where are you? It helps if you have a bit of movement speed, and it also helps if you have a movement ability, and a ranged attack is very helpful here as well. But the blades are here somewhere, and we're just looking for them. Here they are. Ooh, with some unburieds. Watch this. Boom! Oh, level 4, easy. All right, so I got to get past them, and we got to get to the blades. This is going to require some finesse. All right. Okay, that was the opposite of finesse. But we'll just, no problem, we'll just revive and sneak on by. Later, blueberries. All right, here we go. This is it. And pretty much you just piss everything off and just try to get it to run into the blades. That's it. I'm already level 5. I did nothing. That was the easiest level 5. Boom! Goodbye. And that's it. I mean, I'm alright. This might be the best method. You might, forget all the other stuff. You don't even need anything. Excuse me, sir. Come on. Alright, one more time for the lulz. Come on over, boys. Easy. Oh, man, dude. Oh, man. Okay, well. Blades. T6. Halls of Agony, level 1. Find the blades. Try to kill more zombies than they kill you. For the next leveling method, it's the massacre bonuses. Massacre bonuses are incredible if you're playing solo, and they're also incredible if you're playing a class like a witch doctor, for example, that can run around and just tag everything. But the concept is very simple. Again, you go to Act 1, and you either go to Halls of Agony level 2 or the Fields of Misery. Now, I'm going to try to do this as essentially a naked level 15 demon hunter, but the idea is we just run around and tag stuff. And you can set it to whatever difficulty is fine for you. Just play around with it depending on how lucky you got. Normal might be very hard for you, or maybe you can pump it all the way to T1 if you got extremely lucky. And I've got 16 kill massacre, and you just keep tagging stuff and moving along. I'm going to die here because I'm trying to do this naked, but you get the idea. 17 kills, and when I res, boom, a 1.5% experience multiplier. It would actually help if you had some gear on, then you could do it much better. And if you can get into like the 100, 200 massacre bonuses, you'll just fly up in levels. It's one of the best leveling methods. The third leveling method would be just to level up by doing rifts. And this is a very easy to understand leveling method. You guys just go in either by yourself or with a group. You just hang out together, and the advantage of leveling up in rifts is you will get a consistent stream of items. So you're going to be better geared if you level up in rifts than in any of the other methods, especially blades. In blades, you're not going to get anything. You're just going to kill stuff and chop stuff and essentially pick nothing up. Rifts is the opposite of that. You might even get very lucky and get some goblins. A lot of people, I think, prefer rifts, especially if you aren't racing to be number one. It is a little bit slower than the other methods, but I think it can be the most fun, especially if you're playing in a group. I wouldn't recommend it for solo. I think blades or the massacre bonuses is much faster, but keep in mind that rifts are an option. The fourth and final method for leveling up is the cursed chest method. This method is incredible, especially if you have a group rather than solo, and it is much better if you have a necromancer in the party, at least one, so they can have the corpse explosion gloves, and maybe they'll be lucky enough to have the blood tide blade. The basic idea of it is you go to the Temple of the Firstborn over and over and over. There's about a 50% chance that you get a specific cursed chest. That cursed chest is incredible for leveling up. And the reason why we choose this one over some of the other ones is it's very easy to get to, and the monsters along the way can give you a lot of massacre bonuses as well. Now, unfortunately, my demon hunter is not geared at all here, so she's not prepared for any of this, but you can make your way and get some massacre bonuses along the way. And when you get up here, there are two options for the layouts. There's either going to be a square room or a rectangle room. So this is what I would call the rectangle room. And when you see this room, you immediately know that you did not get the cursed chest and it's time to leave. What you're hoping for is the square room. The square room will have the cursed chest. You'll activate it and kill everything. Now, this is the method that I used to level up last season, and we were one of the first teams to 70, and I showed a demonstration on my YouTube. So if you haven't seen this video, leveling 1 to 70 in 54 minutes with cursed chests, I'll put a link in the description below. It will show you in much greater detail exactly how to do it if you want to use this method. Alright, so we picked our method. We're either going to use the blades, especially if we whiffed everything, and not on hardcore, remember, or we're going to do massacre bonuses because we're playing something like a witch doctor that can just tag everything. Or we're just going to relax and do rifts and not worry about getting there first and just have a good time and have very good loot. Or we're going to be super try hard and get a group and get some necros and blast to 70 as fast as humanly possible with the cursed chests. Remember, as you're leveling up, once you hit your major weapon at whatever level, mine was at 43, make sure to equip it, and when you equip it, you can definitely turn the difficulty up. The next section we're going to cover is Hadrig's Gift and what the rewards are, and also what you should do when you're 70 and beyond. Alright, so when we hit 70, the first thing that we're going to do is our seasonal journey, of course. And what are the set rewards? Well, they're going to mirror the set rewards for Season 17. What are the good ones here? Well, the God Tier 1 is the Demon Hunter's Impale build. As a Demon Hunter, you are going to be so happy to get this. I've got the Demon Hunter Impale guide on my YouTube. It can obliterate your GR70 solo and unlock Primal Ancients for you and allow you to farm very easily. The other really good one is the Sunwuku set for the Monk. You can build Sunwuku Wave of Light, and then you can build Sunwuku Tempest Rush, and you will be farming amazingly right at the beginning. The other sets are okay. All of them are completely capable of smashing a GR70 solo. They're just nowhere near as good as the Demon Hunter's Impale and the Monk's Sunwuku. So, if you are a casual player, you don't play that much, and that's fine, and you're really relying on the reward from the seasonal journey to carry you, I would go with DH or Monk this season. Alright, This is something that I read all the YouTube comments and questions on every single video, and I've been asked this multiple times. Rax, can you please cover what exactly do you do after you get to level 70 and how do you get powerful as quickly as possible? So let's talk about it. So first of all, I can't show you because the seasons aren't up. There is a seasonal journey. If you hit Shift J or right click your portrait and go to view seasonal journey when the season is up, there are a few things that you need to do to get to chapter 4. When you get to chapter 4, you get a full set, which is what we just discussed. And the best 2 sets this season are for the Demon Hunter and the Monk. These basic things require you to do bounties, to kill specific bosses, to craft some things. So that is the first thing that you should work on, is completing all of those objectives. So I'm going to assume that you can work through those and get through chapter 4 and get your initial set. So the next thing that I do, and pretty much for the entire season, is it's all about your time in Greater Rifts. Greater Rifts have so much more value than everything else, it's not even close. So Greater Rifts are essentially the only way that you can get any experience. Yes, you can get some experience in Rifts and some in bounties, but it's really nothing compared to Greater Rifts. Experience gives you Paragon levels. Paragon levels not only give you massive damage, they give you massive survivability. Greater Rifts are going to give you all of your gems and your gem ups. It's got to be that you spend 99% of your time in Greater Rifts. So people ask me, well, do you farm keys and then jump straight into the Greater Rift, or do you farm 100 keys and then blast? That I would say is up to you, but very, very early on, being in a Greater Rift is way more valuable than not being in one, because you need to level up your main gems to 25. And at the very beginning, you need to even get your main gems to drop. Sometimes they don't drop for like the 20th gem. You know what I mean? Another thing that people don't do, which you should absolutely do, is you need to augment your character immediately. And I mean full 13 of 13 augs. I think I had my character fully auged by the 2nd day of the season. So for those of you that don't know what augmenting is, let me show you. When you go to the cube and you go to the last recipe, you can destroy a legendary gem that you've leveled up with some gems, with an ancient item, and put a big main stat on that item. Let me see if I have something in my stash that can show you. Anything in here augmented? This bone ringer is augmented with a 150 gem, which is the max, and it gives me plus 750 intelligence. The difference between having augments on your character and not having augments, especially at the beginning of the season, is tremendous. I cannot overstate it enough. Literally what I do is I level up my 3 main gems to whatever is the level that I can currently clear. If I can clear GR 100 easily, then I level my 3 main gems to 100, and then what I do is I start leveling up a bunch of other gems, and the second that they're level 100 and I've got an ancient item, I augment it. Even if I'm going to replace the ancient in the next couple of days, augment it. Getting the 13 of 13 augs right away is critically important. So then you may ask, but wait a minute, Rax, you have to have 13 level 100 gems in order to do that. When you're farming Greater Rifts, you should always farm Greater Rifts that you can speed clear. And I mean quickly. I mean you come to an elite, and the elite is going to be dead in less than 2 seconds. Because not only is speed farming Greater Rifts the best way to get experience and to raise your Paragon levels the fastest, it's also the fastest way to level your gems. People say to me, Rax, You have a million gems that are level 100. I don't play very much. I don't have that many. So I asked them a question. What Greater Rift level are you farming? And they say Greater Rift 90 in, let's say, 5 minutes, for example. Okay. Well, how easy is it for you to clear a 70 or a 60 or a 40? Anything. Anything super, super low for your level. How fast could you clear that? And they go, oh, well, I would just decimate it. I would just run through it. Well, what do you mean by that? How fast would you do it? I don't know, a minute and a half. Everything just dies as I walk by it. Well, why don't you do that? If you did that for 1 hour, you get 5 gem ups if you empower the rift every single time. You can have a gem at level 70 in the blink of an eye. Then you can make another one and another one and another one. It would not take you that long at all. It's not as hard as you think to level the gems if you just lower the Greater Rift level, not so low that you're wasting, that you're getting less legendaries and that you're costing yourself a ton of Paragon points, but low enough to where you can just obliterate it and get those gems up. And you don't have to augment at level 100. If you can get your gems to 70 or 80 reasonably, aug there, that's fine. There's some trouble at the beginning where you may not even have enough gems. Not legendary gems, just the regular gems. These. You might not have enough of these to augment your gems. That's fine. There's a solution for that as well. And I do this every single season. I go to Act 2, and I go to Squirt, and he's got these little essences that you can use. You can convert the gems for whatever you, let's say I want emeralds. So I need emeralds to augment my gear. You can use this to convert the amethyst that I don't need. Come over to the cube here. I don't need amethysts. I want emeralds. Transmute. It swaps 9 of them. Now all of a sudden I can augment more stuff with dexterity on my demon hunter. So, and that's really, really it. Blast Greater Rifts. The highest level that you can do, I would say every time under 3 minutes, or if you're a speed demon, maybe under 2 minutes, and just keep doing them. Keep doing them until you run out of keys. The first thing that you should do is level up your 3 main gems to whatever level you're currently at, and then start making the augment gems. You're going to need 13 of them. And augment the ancient that you think is going to be the hardest for you to upgrade, because then you won't be wasting your augments, right? People ask me, Rax, which thing do I augment? I'm very nervous that I'm going to augment it, and then 5 minutes later, I'm going to find a big upgrade. And I'm going to feel terrible. You want to know what I say to those people? You should feel amazing. You just found an amazing upgrade. But Rax, I just wasted my augment. We just discussed this. It's very easy to make an augment if you just turn the Greater Rift level down to where you can just obliterate it. It's literally not going to take you more than 30 minutes to an hour to make a whole new augment. But it sometimes takes way longer. It sometimes takes people an entire season to find a really, really good upgrade. So for that reason, be happy. It's okay. You lose an augment, who cares? You got an amazing upgrade. That's what you wanted. One more comment about demon hunters. If you're going to play Impale, especially, and you're going to play Impale at the beginning because they're going to give it to you, and that's a really good set. With your materials that you have in the beginning, what I would be doing, whenever I have a couple of materials, take 10 daggers, and every time you upgrade these, there's a 1 in 2 chance of getting a Carlay's point. Carlay's point is the weapon for Impale. And if you keep doing that, if you just keep blasting these, one of these days you're going to get a good one. That's not a Carlay's point. That's not a Carlay's point. Let's see if we can go 50-50 here. Carlay's point, this one sucks. Next. Carlay's point is one of the easiest primals to get in the whole game. And early game, when I start Demon Hunter, I am going to start it. You're going to see every single material that I have, no matter what, I'm going to be blasting Carlay's points, trying to get a good one. Lord Greenstone's fan. We're not having good luck here. We're supposed to go 50-50. I got an ancient one. 357. Not terrible. Okay? Not terrible at all. I could definitely use this. I just got way stronger just making 10 of them. I hope you get luckier than me, and try to do your crafting after you do your GR70 solo. That way you have a chance to get a primal. That's my advice to you on what to do after you get to 70. And I'm going to be blasting and streaming this, and I'm going to be streaming a Demon Hunter. If you want to follow along right side of me, I would love to have you there. And you're going to see I'm going to do exactly what I just told you to do on my stream. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope that this guide has helped you and will give you a clear direction on what you want to do on leveling 1 to 70 and then beyond. Make sure that you don't do the challenge rift next week. I will have the guide for you. I'll show you exactly how to do it. I'll tell you if it's difficult or not and what to watch out for. I'll do it a million times. My stream on Monday, so let me check the date on that, on the 29th. If you want to watch me do it live, watch me do all the challenge rifts, both North America and EU, come watch that one and you can see me trying and trying and trying. But make sure that you don't complete it, otherwise you're going to ruin your seasonal start. I hope you guys have an amazing time in Season 21. If you have any questions or comments for me, leave them down below. I take your guys' feedback all the time and try to implement it in my videos. I read every comment and every question on every video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again.